Welcome to I Am the Cute One, the most chaotic school dance in the podcast universe.
Let's spike the punch, grind to usher, and talk about our favorite topic, ourselves.
Hello, I am Donny, and I am the cute one.
And I'm Chelsea, and I'm the cute one. And cuties, if you're not on Patreon, you didn't see our test run of, we're just cuter without headphones. And one thing about Donny, when he doesn't wear headphones, I don't know what is happening, but you are giving delicious dish. You just said, hello, I am Donny, and I am the cute one.
Well, you know that it changes by the end of the episode, so just let me warm up. This is just the new normal now.
Okay, and I'm coming in guns blazing because I feel like I've pulled an all-nighter. I haven't slept. It might as well be 4 a.m. because at some point I hope I can log in and say that it isn't a shit show in my house, but we have, I guess, another different new stomach bug that's going around. So poor Coco was up all night long. Now, we did ship Sapphire off. She had a nice, lovely sleepover with my parents. To boarding school?
That's what it sounded like.
Imagine that's how I told you.
She would look cute in a school uniform.
She would look adorable in a school uniform. But, she's been watching Zoe 101, and her mind was blown when I told her who the older sister was.
Oh.
Because she loves Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Yeah.
That was the jump of the school uniform.
Of course.
That's how we got there.
Well, Zoe 101's a boarding school, no?
It is, yeah.
So it did just make sense on its own as well.
You can take a bridge, you can take a rope swing. We're all breaking our necks on the way to the same destination, Donny.
Let's get into it. So we didn't even announce it. Today is day one of Tears and Queers, officially. I know we did the soft launch last week with, what sad movie did we watch?
Hope Floats, one of my favorite of all time.
Oh, not now, Mama. But this week, Bridge to Terabithia is the start of Tears and Queers. And,
Okay. Now, this was my first time watching the movie because it did come out in 2007.
Yes.
So I remember reading this book. I didn't really remember the plot until I started watching, and I was like, I remember. I knew it made an impact on me. I knew it was a formative book that I read, but I never watched the movie because by the time it came out, I was in college.
Okay. Well, you need to watch the trailer for this because that's why I didn't see this movie. I loved the book when I was a little kid, but the book is mostly drama, and then there are fantastical elements in it because they're using their imagination, but it's clear. And it's clear in the movie, too, that they're using their imagination, but it's not a fantasy movie. But the trailer made it look like it was friggin' Harry Potter. So I was like, this is not my Terabithia. I'm not watching.
Were her parents meth heads in the book?
Were they?
I don't know. And I meant to look it up because the whole time when she's like, oh, my parents are done writing their book, I was like, I feel like there was something else there in the book that I don't know. But I could be completely making it up. I love to add a meth head to any story.
Well, it was the 70s, so possibly. So this movie premiered February 16th, 2007. Ghost Rider was top of the box office with this as the number 2 movie, and Norbit, music and lyrics, good one. You have to add that to the list. And Daddy's Little Girls rounding out the top 5. Irreplaceable by Beyonce was the number 1 song in the U.S. Reba and the OC both aired their last episode this week, and Britney Spears shaved her head on this very day.
Wow.
The day Bridge to Terabithia came out. She said, this is not my Terabithia.
Yeah, she also saw the trailer and said, enough.
If today's episode makes you laugh or scream or watch Zoe 101 or run over a cat, do us a favor and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. A 5-star review is the easiest way to help grow our audience and this community. Thanks. Also, we are on Patreon, as you know. If you don't know that by now, I don't know. Where have you been all my life? Go to Patreon. We're there. This movie was written by Jeff Stockwell with help of producer David Patterson, based on the book by his mother, Catherine Patterson.
Oh.
And Catherine wrote the novel in 1977 as a way of helping her 8-year-old son recover from a traumatic incident where his best friend was struck by lightning and died.
Jesus.
I know. She helped him get through it by doing that, but really she took his trauma and turned it into a book.
100%.
Yeah.
It's very similar. This is a new big ick for me. There are some moms out here just straight up filming their kids having meltdowns and showing what good parents they are by calming them down. And it really gives me the ick. And now I know Catherine Peterson, I got my eye on you.
Yeah.
The internet wasn't invented yet, so you just had to work with what you got.
Yeah, that trend sounds disgusting, or not even a trend, I guess. That way to make money off your children sounds disgusting. But what I really did like is when Black content creators were taking their kids having temper tantrums and throwing themselves on the ground and stuff and setting it to gospel music. Look like they got the Holy Spirit in church.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah. We love a meltdown set to music. And Jeff didn't write about his kids' trauma, but he also wrote A Wrinkle in Time. It was directed by Gabor Kasupo. I know I said that wrong. And he is the creator of Rugrats, Ah, Real Monsters, The Wild Thornberrys, and As Told by Ginger. This was his first foray into live action.
Oh my God, I need to get this man's name tattooed on me. I'm Nigel Thornberry.
Oh, no. Emily does that too. And now I just had a flash forward vision of
Big Brother 40
Big Brother
when
40.
we create the Thornberry Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Cave Brother.
Donny's his name.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Stick to cartoons is what I say to Gabor. This movie cost $17 million to make and brought in $137.5 million. Roger Ebert, not a man of many words, maybe he was close to death, I don't know. He gave it 2 thumbs up and said, "It's very good."
That was it?
Yeah. He was checking out. The doomsday
They were
clock
doing
was
Weekend at
counting
Bernie's
down.
with him at that time. They had his hand and he was just
It was
pretending to
just
play.
this on strings.
There's 2 strings.
Josh Hutcherson, Anna Sophia Robb, and Bailee Madison, the 3 kids, all won Young Artist Awards for their roles, and the movie won Best Family Feature Film for Fantasy at that award show as well.
They were great.
We'll get into it in a good way. That's complimentary, not derogatory.
Okay. God. You can say a lot of things about this movie, but like it would have been a real stinker if those kids couldn't act.
Yeah, for sure. This brings us to the taglines. I'll go first with mine. Get over it. Get it? Build a bridge and get over it?
I got it. I went in a similar direction.
Okay.
Again, I am not working with all the marbles jingling around in my brain.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of things. We're workshopping. I didn't even really pick a favorite. I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall. The first one is an earnest one. What would happen if you just believe? It's like using
It
your
sounds like a Christmas
imagination.
movie. Josh Groban ain't in this.
Don't you dare mention him. And if you say Michael Bublé, I'm logging out. Now, this is where the first one I think was too Christmassy, so then my brain did go full evil. The next one goes, it's water under the bridge.
Oh, that's good.
And the last one, inspired by one of my favorite songs from a band called The Rise Against, Swing Life Away. Get
That's
it?
beautiful.
Because she
Yeah.
literally did.
I get it. If Jordan Peele remade this as a scary movie, do you think the trailer would have Cry Me a River, but scary? Cry me a river.
Cry me. Ooh,
With
love it.
flashes of that swing.
Uh-huh.
The real one's somehow not as good as ours. The first one is close your eyes, but keep your mind wide open.
I hate when they just take something they say from the movie.
So you'll hate when I use my same joke that I used as a tagline to end this episode. The second one is discover a place that will never leave you and a friendship that will change you forever.
A little long, but that's fine.
A little bit of trivia. Number 1, Dakota Fanning was offered the role of Leslie, but turned it down due to scheduling conflicts. She would have been great also.
Yeah.
Also, Tim Allen was considered for the role of Jack Aarons, the dad. Fine. And a lot of film studios that this movie was pitched to wanted to change the ending and just have her end up in like a brief coma instead of dying. And they were like, no, absolutely not. We're just going to keep pitching to different companies until someone approves it, but we're not. That's what the whole movie's about.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. And we'll talk about it in the What Age As Well section, but I appreciate this was a kid's movie.
Yeah.
It covered dark matter, but I'm glad that they were true to the book, which again, I remember reading in middle school and it devastating me.
Oh, yeah. When you asked me if the girls could watch it, it is a kid's movie, right? Like if they would have watched it,
For sure.
I mean, it's sad, but
Yeah, like we would have had to have conversations about it and they would have been displeased with me because they don't like to be sad. But luckily I had one puking her brains out and one shipped off to boarding school.
can't wait.
Oh, where my sentence was going with that before we went on a Zoe 101 tangent, because of course we did. We shipped her off with my parents for the night. AB is beside herself. She has been glaring at me and Dr. Bald. She cannot believe what bad parents we are. She keeps going to Sapphire's room and whining and coming back out. She's like alerting us like, hey, you idiots, have you noticed? One of the children is puking and the other one, where is she?
Our very own Lassie. What character, if any, do you identify as?
I'm 100% Carrie from the Carrie Diaries.
And
not to brag, but I was also faster than all the boys at school.
I believe it.
I do think there is nothing more embarrassing in life than when people talk about playing high school sports like it's relevant or interesting or a personality trait, but I am nothing if not a hypocrite. Did you know that I held the record for the 800 at my high school?
800-meter dash?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. One year I got grounded, so I had to play a winter sport because I couldn't be trusted alone after school. So I did indoor track, and I beat the school record in my little Asics tennies.
Well, congratulations. That could have been the start of a movie, though. Like, that's when you should have done something outside of the box and done a theater program.
Well, do you want to hear the full story of what I tried to do first?
Yeah.
That was the 3 weeks that I joined the cheerleading squad.
Oh.
But then their cheer competition was like at the same time as like a soccer tournament that I was going to have to go to. So I had to quit the team before they like choreographed a whole routine with me there just for me to be like, haha, did it as a bit. Bye.
Okay. When I was in Cinderella, the Brandy version, but with white kids, I got tickets from my godmother to go see Mamma Mia in Philadelphia on opening night. And I chose to go see Mamma Mia. And I wasn't even a lead. I was just ensemble. They had to find me an understudy for that one night only.
I don't know if it makes it better or worse that you weren't a lead. Well, you probably wouldn't have gone to see Mamma Mia if you were the lead.
No, I would have. Someone spent money on me, like as a Christmas gift. I wasn't going to say like, sorry.
Oh, see, my parents were like really crazy about like obligations and like you signed up for something. That's a sacrifice. Like I missed out on so much because of soccer. Now it did pay for my college, but I put in the work on the front end, you know?
No, I was mad that the ticket was bought for me.
So like, you begrudgingly went.
Yeah. And I had the time of my life, but like that was poor planning on your part. I think I'm PETA because I'm moody. You boss me around.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm going to give you 1 minute on the clock to give us a synopsis.
Sure. Manic pixie dream girl in teeny tiny child's body uses the power of imagination to transform the scary woods into a kingdom, bullies into defeatable monsters, and loneliness into friendship. But maybe she should have spent a little more time transforming that rope swing into something a little more sturdy. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Like what you're hearing? Head to patreon.com/IamTheCuteOne for more.
There you can find uncut, unedited, and unhinged video and audio footage of current episodes.
That's patreon.com/IamTheCuteOne. See you there.
Before we get into the movie, you mentioned the kids. Let's talk about the cast because I think I have more interest in watching it now than I did in 2007 because like now these kids and Zooey Deschanel are like people who mean something to me.
Yeah, a really big cast.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I know the Carrie Diaries.
Did you watch the Carrie Diaries?
Like the first couple of episodes. I think like most people in America.
And then they tried so hard to like force us to watch because at the end, it was either the end of season 1 or the beginning of season 2. They brought Samantha in, but it was too late. And she didn't talk like this.
I love a kid with a deep, raspy voice.
Me too. I used to call my neighbor Drew Barrymore all the time. She'd be like, hi, Donny.
If you keep talking in your delicious dish voice, that's going to be my new voice. Hi, I'm Chelsea, and I'm the cute one.
I wish.
I'm Lisa Barlow. So I did know Carrie from the Carrie Diaries. Obviously, I knew PETA. Let's play the game. How do I know this person? Where did I know the bratty little sister from?
Do you know the answer?
I do. I looked it up because I was like, okay, I know this girl's face.
You didn't watch the new Pretty Little Liars on HBO, right?
I did not.
Okay. Just go with it with Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler?
No.
Okay, wait. Let me go back further. Don't say anything. Probably this episode of House.
I mean, I can imagine her in a hospital bed, certainly.
I have no idea.
I knew her from Once Upon a Time. She was young
Snow. Duh. She is my favorite part of this movie. She's my favorite actress from this movie. I love this little girl. And there are people that were in my life at one point and are not anymore. And I use it as a marker now. Like, of course you're not in my life anymore. You don't think Bailee Madison's a good actress.
Thank God. I didn't know that that was a litmus test.
Now that she's an adult, they let her be a little more versatile. But when she was a little girl, she was like the Mercedes from Glee. But instead of bringing her out to the stage to wail that last note, they just made her cry every time. There's a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, Natalie Portman, and Tobey Maguire. And Jake Gyllenhaal and Tobey Maguire are brothers. And one's in the war and married to Natalie Portman. And then
What's the name? Jughead?
Brothers.
Oh, what's Jughead?
One of them's in the war and they think he dies. So then when she's mourning, the wife gets very close to the brother and starts fucking him. And then the brother comes back and he was been alive this whole time. But Bailee Madison's the daughter and like at a table with tears in her eyes. She's like, this is why he's having sex with mommy. It's good. That's a talent. Jess Aarons, or as I'll be calling him, Peter Malark, is a shoe taping, grow your own vegetables poor. And if that wasn't bad enough, he doesn't take showers. And when he doesn't shower and wants to wear tape shoes to the first day of school, his mother says, we may be white, we may be trash, but we aren't white trash. And so she throws his busted sneakers out and replaces them with hand-me-downs. Girl hand-me-downs. But poor Peter won't be caught dead, foreshadowing, with pink shoes, so he Sharpies them black instead. And most cuties know about my bad haircut, but it is the best Sharpie story I have. Perhaps the only Sharpie story I have. So I'll tell it again for any new listeners. One time when I was in 9th grade, I got a haircut, and when she was shaving the little part, she said, oops, I messed up. And I said, what do you mean you messed up? And then she showed me what she meant, and she sure did go too far, and it cut a little opening. So then she said, don't worry, I can fix it. Came back with a Sharpie, colored in my head, still expected me to pay. I didn't. And then every day in homeroom, I would bring a Sharpie and let a different person color the back of my head.
I do love that that is a true taking lemons and making lemonade story, that you found a way to make it a special ritual where you got to have new people each day experience the joy of coloring in the back of your head.
Yeah, because then it's like a moment that we share together and I'm not a punchline.
Yeah, for sure. The back of your head is ridiculous. You remember that? You don't remember that? You weren't as much of a YouTube girly as I was, I'm realizing.
Well, even now, I'm not as much of an internet person you are. Sometimes when we rate the TGIF headlines, yours is like, Suzanne Jenkins 929 said on Instagram yesterday that her and Bobby Mack are officially over. I'm like, I've never heard of Suzanne Jenkins 929 or Bobby Mack.
Well, have you heard of the Resilient Jenkins on TikTok?
No.
Yeah, they're a family that, cuties DM me. I want to chat. But now, Donny, I'm not going to be so much of an internet person because I did delete TikTok after their new terms and conditions.
Me too.
So I'm going to have to find a new avenue. Well, I have a Sharpie story. So Sharpie, if you're listening and want to sponsor us, please slide into our DMs. Coco, you know, my little creative gal, a wonderful artist, an imaginative soul, she has taken to, and mind you, we have face paint. She has taken to using Sharpies to make herself a muscle man. Now, I don't know what muscle man she's referring to, but I truly think it's like one of those old-timey muscle men that have like a pipe and a striped shirt, much like I'm wearing today.
Oh.
She draws curly chest hair. She draws the indents of muscles and tattoos. And she draws a curly little mustache. She's done it 3 separate times now. And each time I say, Coco, we have face paint. And I have given up trying to police the face paint. The face paint is accessible for you to use whenever you want. But she wants something a little more permanent. The first time she did it, 5 minutes before the bus. So she surely did go to school as the muscle man that day. The second time she did it, immediately after taking a bath. The third time she did it, right before we went to visit my grandma, who you might remember has Alzheimer's and is in a nursing home. So she showed up. My grandma was having a rough day, so it ended up being a good distraction for her because then rather than trying to place us, she just kept saying, "What's on your face? Come over here." Trying to get that off of her the whole time. But 3 separate occasions. And each time she does add a little flair. Like the mustache was a little more bristled this third time.
Huh. Maybe you'll have a shipment of washable Sharpies sent to your house.
That would be lovely. But you know what they call a washable Sharpie? Face paint.
Yeah, but just remove the Sharpies, no? You're not going to leave a bag of food out for AB.
But AB can break into cabinets, and so can Coco. She finds them, because that's the thing. She squirrels them away in her little artist corner. So if I find a Sharpie, I'm not like doing turn down service, making her bed and putting a Sharpie on her pillow.
Okay.
But you've seen my house. There's shit everywhere.
No, that's true. And I want to blame you and your housekeeping skills, but that's not just your house. I've been here not even a month, and I am starting to see like little areas that are not so IKEA magazine anymore.
Tough.
And every time I say, oh no. And mine is only, one bedroom's off limits. It's not mine. So mine's only this room, the living room, the kitchen, and the bedroom. That's all I have access to. 4 rooms. I can't imagine a whole house.
And once again, cuties, I'm talking shit about my house. My house is cute. So when you're picturing this, imagine a cute house with lots of Sharpies all around.
Yeah, it is cute.
I am offended by how many people think I live in a shack. It's a shack, but it's cute.
Yeah, yours is Carrie Diary's house, not Peta's house.
We're painting the walls.
That is you. And you have a shit full of lumber in the backyard if anyone needs to build a bridge.
I actually do.
I know. You are them. And bullying seems to be a recurring theme in sad movies because the ugliest girl on the bus makes fun of Peta for being poor, throwing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on him and telling him it's the free lunch program. And
Brutal.
And the bullying doesn't end on the bus when the 2 ugliest boys in Mrs. Monstermouth Myers' class insinuates that he's gay and wears girls' panties. Now, Monstermouth Myers, we were drawing pictures of her, writing Monstermouth Myers on the journal. I truly thought we were going to have a Harriet the Spy moment where this got out.
Yeah.
But now we're just talking shit about the teacher.
Yeah, but I think that's more true to form. I think the teachers always knew what we were saying about them, but we were children.
Do you think Mrs. I forget her last name, thank God. Do you think she knew that people were saying she would hide cigarettes in her peg leg and smoke them in the bathroom?
Yes, that's a crazy rumor. Of course she heard that.
Crazy rumor, unless it's true.
Unless it's true. It ain't slander if it's true, is what I've always heard.
Earlier this week, people at work were having a snowball fight. I said, no, I have to draw boundaries somewhere. Work won't love you back, but also I hated snowball fights as a little kid. I hated going out in the snow as a little kid. There's nothing about being cold and overheated at the same time that is appealing to me. You can go fuck right off. Yeah. So they were like, come on, Donny, come on. You're going to be the only one? I was like, I guess I am. So I took a nap. They all went and had a snowball fight, but apparently a man with a prosthetic leg joined in on the fun and said, let me play. And then at one point, he picked it up and used the hollow part as a little fling shot.
I love that.
Yeah. Ain't that something?
Ain't that something?
Since all the current students in school make fun of Peta, it's a treat when a new bob-headed girl, the Carrie Diaries herself, Leslie, starts school, until she beats him in a race. Then he has no interest in being her friend. But that all changes when she offers him juicy fruit and tells him he's the best artist she's ever seen. And he's not the only talented one, because Carrie Diaries proves to be quite the little author. And another talent of hers, getting Big Ugly Janice all riled up. And also racing, obviously. So the 2 run to the woods where they swing on an old-ass piece of rope hanging from a tree.
I know I've told you about when Dr. Bald and I first started dating and...
The hike.
Not the hike.
Okay.
When he took me to the beach and I thought that I was like Baywatch, but I looked like a drowned rat.
You were the victim in Baywatch.
I was the one getting resuscitated. There are so many stories I'm realizing from our early days of dating where he took me places and I pretended to be easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. I guess that is just what the beginning stages of dating are, is slowly putting your foot down and slowly revealing hey, so I know you love to camp, but never again, bitch.
Yeah.
So in my mind, the story I'm about to tell was in the beginning phases, but as I was asking Dr. Bald, details that he was remembering, I realized this was a couple years into dating. So he certainly should have fucking knew better. But he took me, my brother, and my brother's girlfriend at the time to this river because there's a rope swing that he would go with his buddies and you could swing into the river and yada, 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 fun time. Great little Saturday excursion. He knew at this point I could not swim. This was at the time where, like, when we would go to the beach, we wouldn't have shoes, we wouldn't have clothes, we'd bring a t-shirt for a towel to sit on. Like, we were flying by the seat of our pants type of people. But when he took me to the beach, I was staying on the beach. We went to this river. Not a floaty, not a life jacket, not an inner tube.
Because I do love tubing down a river.
I love tubing down a river because guess
I went to
what?
Harper's
You're in a
Ferry
tube.
famously in Virginia.
We should do that one day.
I would love to.
Okay. So we show up to this river, nothing. And he's like, don't worry, you can stand this whole time. Like, just put your feet down and you'll be able to walk if you wanted to. We start swimming and I have the realization, this motherfucker is 6 foot. I am 5'2". So the first time that I try to put my feet down, there's 8 inches of water ahead of me. So first of all, lie. Okay. So then I'm doggy paddling. I'm starting to panic.
Yeah.
My brother, not a great swimmer, but like he's 6'2", so he could put his feet down if he needed to. His girlfriend was a strong swimmer. So Dr. Bald's like, okay, we can go close to, I guess it's like a dam or like a man-made wall that keeps the water on one side. He's like, we can just go nearby here and you can kind of put your feet on that and we'll just walk. He's like, but be careful because if the current gets going, on the other side of this wall is an 8-foot drop and a waterfall. So my choices at this point was to continue doggy paddling in the river or walk a balance beam where I could perish to a waterfall. We ended up seeing this group of people floating down this river. I jumped ship on Dr. Bald and our excursion. I fully just start holding on to this one girl's raft. She is clearly, it's like 12 in the afternoon. She is clearly on Molly or something. She's like touching my hair and telling me how beautiful I am, which is what I needed in that moment.
Yeah.
A near-death experience. I'm like clinging to it. And she just kept feeding me Modelo's and I just fully left Dr. Bald and them. And I was like, I'm going to hang out here. When you guys are done, come back and get me. As they're leaving, I hear him turn to my brother and go, it's going to be worth it. I promise. One time we found bones on the island. What the fuck is wrong with this man?
What kind of bones?
I didn't ask follow-up questions. They were walking away. Yeah. So long story long, they got to the place where the rope swing had been and the police had cut it down because somebody had broken a limb and luckily didn't die, but the police had cut it down. So all of that work and that wasn't there. And then as we're leaving, we get in the car and he goes, next time I'll take you to the rock quarry where we can jump. I was like, no, next time I'm going to sit on the couch and watch Vanderpump Rules. Thank you very much.
The two use their imaginations and pretend this section of the woods is Terabithia, an enchanted kingdom run by the Dark Master, and Carrie Diaries, being the white savior she is, has come to free his prisoners. It's no rags to riches. The two get closer, turning this section of the woods into their private little getaway. But back at school, big ugly Janice continues to terrorize them, and because Carrie Diaries' imagination only goes as far as her real life, a big ugly troll Janice terrorizes them in Terabithia. And I get it. She's a kid. You know, she's not R.L. Stein over here. But I was a little annoyed that whatever was happening at school and real life was just like what was happening in Terabithia. Like, that's not using your imagination. That's just changing the names. I wanted real imagination. I wanted like, oh no, I'm shrinking.
I don't think it comes as any surprise that you and I were both very creative, imaginative children.
Not at all.
I mean, we've literally found a way to play pretend 3 times a week as adults on this podcast.
I told my boyfriend recently I want to start writing again. And I said, can you make sure? And I said, not in an annoying way, but can you make sure that like you follow up with me and I am writing? And he thought I'm in a journal. And I said, oh no, I'm a novelist.
We can do that together, have a buddy system, because I did start like a series of short essays because I've had some crazy shit in my life and I wanted to write like a funny look back on those things, and I was really good about it. I was writing a little bit each day and then COVID happened and then God knows where that journal or document even is.
I was writing a short series of short essays. I don't know. I think the world, well, maybe we've looped back and they'll be okay with it. I was writing a series of short essays on my life about all the times I was a bully, and it was called Bullying Works. The Denver chapter was called I Thought You Loved Jesus.
You have told me this. I think that we could probably workshop the name of the book, but maybe you could have a section in the book called Bullying Works.
Well, no, I like a book where the essays have a through line. Like my favorite book of essays is Chelsea Handler's when she was like slutty. And every chapter was a different man she slept with.
I love all of Chelsea Handler's writing. And I like her trajectory of you can see her healing process. Because like her first book is like, my family was great. I'm slutty and funny. The second one is like, my family is great. And also there are things and I'm slutty and funny. And then the next one is like, actually, as it turns out, I had a lot of trauma and I'm slutty and funny. And then this last one I loved, which was like, I am healed. Jane Fonda told me I was a disaster at a dinner party and I got my life together and I'm still slutty and funny.
Love that. Maybe mine will be called Still Slutty and Funny. Which, by the way, did you see that Zodiac thing I posted? And it was like the trajectory.
Different years.
Yes, that's crazy.
Crazy. I love that. For the first time in a long time, to paraphrase Frozen, every time I get a zodiac thing about Pisces or Geminis, it's like money is coming to you, your suffering is ending, all of your hard work is paying off, you've had shitty 5 years, and it's all gonna come up you this year. And I love it. I like every single one. If they say, like, claim it, you know I'm in those comment sections with my little sparkle emojis.
Slanta estanta.
Amen.
Wait, what's that mean? The leprechaun in Charmed says it.
It sounds like Tanta Kringle. Best toy maker to the king.
Health. Slanta estanta.
This is our callback episode because I know we've had this exact conversation. I can't wait, and I've said this before, but when we start getting fan edits and people just compile us having the same conversation over and over again, here are my request cuties for if and when you have time on your hands. I want a compilation of all the times I talk shit about Emma Watson's accent. I want a compilation of every time Donny leaves me speechless or makes me smoke a cigarette. And I want a compilation of all of the times we have the same exact beat for beat conversation and we act like it's the first time we've ever heard it. Thank you. Ask, believe, receive. And shout us out on Reddit. Still hasn't happened.
But when Peeta's father, who has a hard time showing his son love because that's gay or whatever, gets mad that his son frees a raccoon after it eats from their garden and tells him to get his head out of the clouds, Peeta does just that and tells Carrie Diaries he doesn't have time to fart around with trolls in Terabithia. But when Janice charges people to pee and steals his sister's Twinkie, Peeta plops that head right back in the cumuluses, over the rope swing into Terabithia, where he, Carrie Diaries, and the dog he adopted for her are ready to hunt some big, ugly trolls. After all, if they can't whoop Janice's ass in real life, at least they can pretend to on their little island.
Tickle, tickle, tickle. Prince Terry, such a cute name, and this was a good reminder to me that books do matter, and they do shape us even when we've forgotten the plot, because why do they have a dog, Prince Terry, PT for short? I certainly do have a dog, Aunt Becky, named AB for short.
Some would say it's just the dog's name. You do that all the time.
Do
you
what?
give it a name, but then the name you call it is different.
Yeah, but I do that with everybody. I feel like you're one of my only friends that I like call you by your name.
Oh.
You know?
What else would you call me?
Words I can't say on a public platform.
BFG. And
usually the nicknames I give people, there's like a trajectory of it. For example, AB started as Aunt Becky.
Yeah.
Then AB. Now it's turning into AB-licious.
Oh, Christ.
Because she's up in the gym just working on her fitness.
Love that.
And we have a new song for her. She's a trash eater. She loves trash. Yeah, she loves trash. She loves stinky trash.
She loves anything, as I saw on New Year's Eve. And when PT learns the troll's weak spot is getting its toes licked, whose isn't really? Carrie Diaries and Peeta decide to use Janice's weak spot against her. So they write a fake note from her crush telling her to meet her by the bus. And when she does, and he doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, she's humiliated. A point for the Terabithians. And that's just the beginning of Janice's downfall, when gossip buzzes through the school that Janice's father abuses her. And so she loses her power as top bully, but she gains a friend in Carrie Diaries when she gives her advice. Maybe I'm the problem. Put it in my book, Bullying Works, but...
Maybe I'm the Problem by Donny Hadfield is actually the working title.
Oh, I do like that.
And your picture's like this.
If I was Carrie Diaries, I would make her work for it a little bit. Like, that's very sad. I'm very sad that that's your home life. And hurt people. I get it. But you're
Yeah.
going to have to do an apology to our public.
I think she's
I
going
might make
through
you
enough.
pee in the garden in front of everybody.
All the people you've given UTIs, you have to just pee in front of.
Yeah.
I do feel like there is a vulnerability, and the women's restroom is a magical place, much like Terabithia. And so I think what happens there is a place of connection, of understanding, of empathy. And what happens in a girl's bathroom is transformative, you know?
Get out of here. She was like Cameron Diaz in Annie. And if vanquishing a bully wasn't enough work for the day, PETA is forced to help Carrie Diaries and her parents paint their house, which sounds exhausting after a long day of school and troll hunting. But he doesn't care because this is a family who knows how to show love to each other instead of being yelled at for letting raccoons loose in the woods. So he soaks it all in. And since she shared this moment with him, he shares one of his family moments with her, church, where she questions the Bible, puts some sunshine in her purse or whatever, and decides to add a bell tower to the castle of Terabithia, one that his sister, Maybelle, helps Carrie Diaries build when she gives her a ring of keys. Her father's work keys, to be exact. And if PETA doesn't get them back before his next shift, he'll have to pay big money. So it's another trip to Terabithia to retrieve the keys, where they're imaginarily attacked by raccoon soldiers, angry birds, and the Dark Master. Luckily, they have grenades, arms that turn into armor, an army of worker bees on their side, and just so happen to be the two fastest people in Terabithia. And as PETA climbs the tree for the keys, he almost falls out, but now the big ugly troll's on their side and catches him. Another successful day in the kingdom.
I did look up because I was curious. When you started talking about painting the walls, I said to myself, are they meth heads?
Yeah.
A quick Google search, so correct me if I'm wrong, cuties. Victor, do your thing. A quick Google search says they aren't meth heads. They're just liberals. So, you know, potato, potato.
When you were
tomato.
young, I can see how you got
Those
confused.
kooky people just painting walls. What about the property value?
The next day, Saturday, which is crazy that I got to actually say that and not as a vocal stem. I typed it and then gasped. PETA's music teacher calls his house to ask him on a one-on-one field trip to the museum that she picks him up for in the car. This is inappropriate now. Was there ever a time this was appropriate? The book was written in 1977, but was that appropriate then? Where are my old bitches at? Can you weigh in?
I think that because the 70s were more of a time of community and this is a small town, I do think that there were helpers and there were people that were looking out for each other in a different way. So like this was an artistic teacher who saw this boy who needed a role model.
Okay.
But to that I say, let him be a teacher's aide.
Yeah.
Buy him a box of crayons. We don't need to be doing a full excursion to the town over alone in a car. And it would have been better if there was another child.
Was that idea ever on the table?
To invite the girl?
Anybody?
No, she literally just called the house and said, I was going to take my nephews and they bailed. Do you want to go?
Yeah, but then later, once she dies, spoiler alert if you haven't read the book or watched the movie, PETA says he didn't want to invite Carrie Diaries to the museum, so he feels like this is his fault. But she wasn't invited. And I know he has a crush on the teacher, so of course, alone time, whatever, so you can wank to it later or whatever. But like, this felt very Blair and Serena, like all over the place. Where's their friendship today? Because I wasn't under the impression once that he went out of his way to not want her there. I just thought he was invited to something she wasn't, and he went.
I think it's fleshed out more in the book, but there was a brief moment when they're driving down his driveway and she kind of pauses in front of Carrie Diaries' house. And I think that was supposed to tell the audience, like, he could have said, hey, can I go invite her? I'm supposed to hang out with her today. But I do think it just demonstrates survivor's guilt that of course it's not his fault. And of course it wasn't even like explicitly said that he should invite her, but your brain goes there when you're grieving and you think of the like what you should have done. That being said, again, I don't think anybody should be getting in the car with Zooey Deschanel. I know she is the OG Manic Pixie Dream Girl, but like that's so inappropriate. Could you imagine if that was a male teacher and a young girl?
No.
Taking
We'd be
a trip
watching
to
the
the
JonBenet
museum?
Ramsey story.
Right.
Hey,
heavens.
girl, what you doing? The duo have a lovely day. A better day than Carrie Diaries, at least, because when she takes a solo trip to Terabithia, her ticket turns out to be one way when the rope swing breaks and she drowns in the creek.
What a sentence.
The next few days are made up of the people around Peter handling grief in the different ways people do. Carrie Diaries' father tells him he's the best friend his daughter ever had. His teacher, not Zoe Deschanel, the monster mouth one, tells him she knows it's hard for him. His father takes on his chores, and the bullies continue to be bullies, which results in Peter punching them in the face and getting away with it. And now that there's an empty seat on the bus next to him, Janice takes it. But another way people handle grief is denial, and Peter is living in that stage, telling Zoe Deschanel he'd like to invite Carrie Diaries to the museum next time and even going to Terabithia to find her. And where I cried is when the teacher brought him in the hallway and told him about her dead husband or whatever.
Or whatever. This whole part is when I texted you and I said, well, week 1 of Tears and Queers did its job. Because you weren't sure. You didn't know if it was going to get you. It got me. I was crying, sobbing. I do really quick want to say, the way the light is coming in, there are moments you look like Voldemort. Like, because it hits you in such a way that it blocks out your nose. Our very own Gretchen Rossi.
Well, I thought you were going to say Shamar Moore, but Voldemort is fine as well. Carrie Diaries isn't at the island, but his sister, who followed him there, is. But not for long, when he pushes her to the ground and tells her she's not welcome there. Someone else not welcome is the Dark Master. But it's not the Dark Master that's there at all. It's his father, who finally hugs him, tells him Carrie Diaries isn't going to hell. He isn't either. Her death isn't his fault, and the way to keep her alive is to hold on to all the special memories they made and what she stood for.
This made me sob.
Oh.
I was already teary-eyed, and then I don't know if it's the state of the world. I don't know. I was sobbing at this part. Really cathartic. You've really done something to me, Donny, because you might recall I cried once a quarter.
Yeah.
Like, we were locking it up, shutting it down, and I never thought that crying could be a good thing, but you really do feel good after a cry.
I love to
sometimes.
cry. Does Dr. Bald cry? He's a Pisces.
He cries a lot.
Oh, wow. Love
He's
that
very
for him.
emotional, yeah.
PETA is still sad, of course, but as a bitch somewhere once said, build a bridge and get over it. And that's exactly what he does to Terabithia, one that his sister can use to join him in the kingdom as the new princess.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Now, I would love to end there, but I am me.
Okay.
So we need to talk about some shitty parenting. Because I do hate when my new parent brain ruins the triumph of a kid protagonist that I once looked up to. Because that scene of him building that bridge is so cool. Like, I would have loved nothing more than whacking some tools and building a bridge as a child, you know? I tried to build countless clubhouses. None of them were very sturdy. But my question is, first of all, he's using power tools. Blanket statement, unsupervised power tools. I know it was the 70s, but like, okay. Why are these parents still letting this boy play unattended and unsupervised at a crime scene? Like, we know this is not a safe location because quite literally the neighbor girl has perished.
Well, it's just the woods.
You don't think that maybe we would say like, hey, honey, why don't we turn our head to the left? This is a rural town. Why don't you play in those woods over there? Why do we have to go back to the creek? Where now there's not even a rope swing.
Right, exactly. There's a bridge. I think it's fine. If a little girl died in a public pool, you think I'm never swimming there again?
Cannonball!
Like, let's drain the water, make sure there's no molecules floating around, and have a party. Maybe I'm the problem.
Final thoughts. If we were to bring this movie to present day, who would you cast in the reboot, or what would the plot of a sequel be? And I'll go first because I started this brilliant plot about how he grows up and he has the whimsy. He's still an artist. He becomes everything that he loves about Carrie Diaries' parents, and then he meets a child who has had a rough upbringing. Basically, it's reversed where he is teaching the child how to have whimsy. But then I realized that is just quite literally the plot of Uptown Girls.
Mine is a remake, and I would cast Blake Cameron James. He is the black kid in Welcome to Derry. I would make him Jess. Leslie would be my vampire girl, Alicia Ware from Abigail. And then Maybelle, the younger sister, is young Nessa in the wheelchair from Wicked.
Love.
Yeah.
Great casting.
Yeah. That was her.
Final thoughts. What about this movie aged well and what aged like Blockbuster?
I think the segment of the movie that aged the best for me was how grief is handled by all different people and like how people are there for you in that time or not there for you in that time or whatever. I loved that little story arc. And then Blockbuster is the one-on-one teacher date in her car.
Yeah. I think, honestly, this movie really held up. I was not sure how it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I am a book is better bitch, but I love that they stayed true to the heavy topics from the book.
Yeah.
Because despite it being sad and despite it really going places, talking about religion, talking about death, talking about poverty, talking about abuse, I feel like it is so important that kids continue to read books that expand their learning. Because, like I said, I remember this book like blew my mind.
Yeah.
And recently we went to the library before this big snowstorm, and Coco picked out a book called When Stars Are Scattered. It was about refugees.
Oh.
And she has been talking about it all week, like talking about the refugee camp, talking about like what this main character, because it's based on a true story, what this main character Omar has been through. And I really do. I mean, I hate to say it might be a novel concept in 2026, but reading is important, and we maybe shouldn't ban books. Because this book is on the banned book list,
Oh, Jesus. Why?
Because I think of like death, but then also at the end, the talking about like not going to hell. Like it is a commentary on religion too.
Oh my God, kiss my ass. Some allege that this book offers a means of approaching the witchcraft, not showing respect to elders, and violence. Oh my God. Eat my ass, Jan.
Eat my ass.
She says kiss, but I always thought eat sounded better.
Sure. Let them eat cake.
Cake Eater by Carl Radke.
Uh-huh.
Next week, we'll be covering Stand By Me. Chelsea's moderating for once in her life. And I've never seen it, so I just get to enjoy the ride. We'll talk to you later. Love you like a sister. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to I Am the Cute One. If you want more, head to patreon.com/IamTheCuteOne for uncut, unedited, and unhinged video and audio footage of current episodes, as well as even more bonus content.
And if you like what you heard, please be sure to leave a 5-star rating and subscribe to our show. And to help us grow this community of chaotic cuties, share an episode with a friend you think would pass the vibe check.
And to see the madness, check out our YouTube channel, where video footage from all current episodes are posted weekly.
You can follow me at Real Donnywood on Instagram and all other social media platforms.
And if you want more of my personal brand of chaos, check me out at Oh No Chels.
Talk to you later. Love you like a sister.